It looks like you guys are keeping up pretty well. Let's move right into the actual application of the hardware. So what I did was I sort of preloaded this with a file I've used before, where it's basically these little hardware clip pieces. And there's nothing particularly special about them right now, except for the fact that they are sort of designed to reattach to something behind it. So are you guys familiar with the idea of a glass fin curtain wall? Well, no. It looks like this. And so basically the glazing that's on the surface of the building has these little clips on either side, and then it kind of reaches back and attaches to the glass fin here. And that gives it rigidity and structure. And it resists like wind forces and stuff like that. So what I'm doing is sort of simulating something like this. And so we need to essentially generate some of the geometry that's going to support it in a way. Okay. So let's go back into our definition and start to look at what that looks like so that we can have these things reach back and it'll actually attach to a surface in the center. So first and foremost, where is it? Oh yeah, so the original surface here, the one that got subdivided, that's the surface that we're going to need to actually extrapolate certain information from. But a lot of it depends on some other factors. And right now, I'm ignoring the fact that there will eventually be slabs behind it. Okay, so I'm just disclaimer, I'm ignoring that for now. So what I'm going to do is basically take all of the edges and just extrude them backwards into a plane so that we have something believable there. So what I have to do here is take the originally subdivided surface now, and I need to deconstruct the B-rep of that and then grab the edges. So I'm going to do that this way. I'm going to go to surface, deconstruct B-rep, plug this in, and I'm going to look at what the edges look like to me. Actually, yeah, that should be all fine. Never mind. So then I have to select the particular edge that I want to use, and that edge for me, I'm going to grab with list item, and again these are quadrilaterals, so it'll go from 0 to 3. And here I see my 0 is at the bottom. My 1 is a set of edges in between the surfaces. However, it also selects the one on the end. So I do want you to be aware that the one on the end can pose a problem, but it may not, depending on how the geometry gets rendered, basically. But I'm going to eliminate that for simplicity right now, and I'm going to not worry about culling those particular lines out of the pattern. Okay, so another disclaimer, I'm overly simplifying this right here for that. So those edges are what's going to be extruded. So I'm going to go now to transform, Euclidean, no, sorry, surface, freeform, and I'm going to use extrude. So now extrude is typically going to request that you apply a vector to it that's relative to the surfaces. So in keeping with the fact that I try to prepare everything for different orientations, we have to find the normal of these surfaces in order to extrude them properly. So we have 70 edges, and coincidentally we have down here, or up here, 70 surfaces. Down here we also have the same 70 surfaces. It's pretty much the same. So those 3 tools that we need from evaluate surface, let's grab them. We're going to go to analysis and use area, and then evaluate surface, surface closest point, and then it'll be extrude. Whoops, come on. Alright, so subdivide surface I plug in here. That gets me my points. Oh, wait, wrong one. Sorry. I could just use these. Boom. And then I'll plug the surfaces in to there, and UV P to UV, and then the surfaces again are going to go here. So then that is my normal, and I'll have to give it the amplify in order to give it a magnitude. So amplitude is going to take the normal vector, and I'll tell it how far I want it to go. So I'm going to say 0 to 24, because this is going to be inches as well. And then put the expression on A that says x minus 12, or divided by 12, sorry. Boom, there. So then the geometry is the line, and the vector is this. So here, when you look at it from behind, and after you turn off all this stuff, maybe with the exception of this, you can see the fin is now properly located adjacent to those boxes. Does that make sense? And I can make them longer if I want. Okay. You know what I want to do real fast? Since I'm kind of tired of grabbing surface closest point, evaluate surface, and area and all that, since they're only predicated upon 2 inputs, and I generally only want 1 output from them, I'm going to make a new tool for it. So these right here, copy, I'm going to paste them down here, and I will disconnect. What? Oh wait, that I actually do want to keep connected. This one I'll disconnect. So in order to do this here for this tool, I'm going to use a surface connection. Actually, do I want a surface or a B-rep? A surface. So I'll plug that in here. I'll plug in surface to that and surface to this. That is it, right? Yeah, so it's only 1 input. Yeah. And then I'll go to utility. I'll use cluster input. I'm going to call this a surface CP, so surface with center point. Actually, I should call it centroid. And I'm going to do 2 outputs for this. I'll do a cluster output for the normal and a cluster output for the center point. Yeah, I'll use that for now. Actually, I'll make this an N. N. Excuse me, sorry. I keep doing this backwards. There we go. And then I have to go up to Edit and Cluster. And then I select it and I go to Edit and now I'm forgetting. Special folders and put it in a user object folder, I think. Or am I thinking of something else? Now I forget what I did. Oh, create user object, that's what it is. So I'll call this one surface normal. Finds surface, normal, and centroid. Put it in user, subcategory, good go. Alright, cool. So now we should be able to go to user and pull that in. Triangulation panel, surface normal. I like it. So let's test if it works. So I put my face in here, and then I take my normal, plug it in there. Still works. Alright. That's much cleaner, wouldn't you say? Okay. So anyway, I'm going to stop this video and then move into applying the hardware. Sorry, I know I didn't do that yet.